Hi, I'm at the Denver North office, and the centrifuge is located in the corner, back in the lab corner in the supply room. It is plugged in. The cord is located behind the refrigerator for advanced care supplies. We've already validated the timing, and the speeds are preset on here, so we don't need to mess with the speed. The light will be on, as you can see, and it is in a locked position. And when we unlock it, push the unlock and turn, you can open it. So this locking feature will always be on. When closed and just yellow, you have to push the unlock button. So I'm gonna come here and take a peek. Inside here, we have 6 cups that are attached to the rotor. They can come out. They don't need to unless they get soiled. What we do is put our tubes that are unspun in here for centrifugation. And we have 2 big rules that we have to follow. So one is that they have to be balanced. If you have a tube on one side, you must have a tube on the exact other side. You can't do 2 like this, you can't do 2 like that. You could do 3 like that. There always has to be an even spacing in there. If it's not even, the centrifuge will shake horribly. It could fall off the counter and it'll sound very loud like an airplane. So if you have any of those things happen, a lot of vibration, a lot of sound, stop the centrifuge, wait for it to end, and then take a look. So although you might be balanced, if the tubes are not equally filled, that is not a balanced centrifuge. So if this tube is full and you only have 1 full tube to spin, you need to match that. So you don't necessarily need to draw extra on a patient. We can make balanced tubes. So to make a balanced tube, it's very easy. You just put water in the tube to fill up the same. So we'll pretend that this one's about half full. So for example, if we had to put in 2 tubes and one was this full and one was this full, it would make a horrible sound and start to vibrate off. So you can create extra balanced tubes just with water. I'm gonna leave these 2 as different sizes just as balanced tubes in the future if they're needed. But once you have the exact same amount in both tubes and you balance them out, you'll close the lid, lock it. You'll know it's locked because you'll get the yellow lock button. And then you hit start. And you'll notice it's very quiet. There's not a lot of vibration. It just sounds like a fan is on, and it will automatically run for 10 minutes. Once you push start, it begins running for 10 minutes. At 10 minutes, it will stop. Now, it will still take an additional minute or 2 for the rotor to quit spinning. Do not open the centrifuge. Do not press stop and unlock. Don't try to open until everything is completely done spinning. Now, while it's spinning, there are situations that could arise. The most common one is a tube breaks. In this day and age, almost all of our tubes are plastic, and this happens very little. Even 10, 20 years ago, most of our tubes were glass, and it was not uncommon once or twice a year to have a tube explode. So if it sounds like rapid gunfire is going off in here, the odds are good that we had a poor specimen tube that was created and it exploded. Again, if you ever hear anything that sounds off, just hit stop. It'll stop running. It'll take a minute or 2 for the rotor to quit spinning, and then investigate. I don't expect a tube to break in here. That's very rare now. But at the top of a blood tube, when we fill it up, there's always just a little droplet or 2 of blood in there. And it's very common when we get this going as fast as it does for that one drop of blood just to kind of splatter. So it's open. If I see any splattering up here, if I see any splattering in here, we can clean that. And there are only 3 things that we should ever use to clean this centrifuge if we notice a splatter. just a mild detergent, mild soap and water. We can use isopropyl alcohol, that includes our little 70% alcohol wipes, or you can use a 10% bleach solution. We never should immerse the rotor in water, but we certainly can take these little cups out and we can wipe down all around. So when it is done, and you bring your tube out that had blood in it, you're now going to have 3 parts. This gel is going to move to the middle. The heavier cellular components, white cells, red cells, platelets, are going to be at the bottom. So it'll look like a red clot at the bottom, gel in the middle, and hopefully a clear serum at the top. The serum could be very white and cloudy if it's very lipemic. The serum could have an orange or green tinge if the sample's very icteric, if we have a lot of liver issues. Or the sample could be pink or even red if it was a really traumatic draw and we have a hemolyzed sample. There's not much we can do about lipemia or icterus, but if we have a hemolyzed sample, there are certain lab tests that will be test not performed. They'll be TMP'd because it will give us erroneous results. For example, potassium. So should you have any other questions on the centrifuge use, I'm leaving the operator's manual just here on the side, and there's a nice troubleshooting guide kind of towards the back. What to do if it's not running, what to do if you hear excessive noise, what to do if this doesn't feel like it's spinning freely, what to do if you just can't get it to unlock. So there's good troubleshooting in our guide. I'm going to leave it right there. Feel free to create as many balance tubes as you want. I'm going to write on here balance tubes and leave them in a baggie right next to here. Make as many as you want. These will be good forever. Since the water in here is lighter than the gel will always be on the bottom. It's okay to use just water as a balance tube. You don't need extra blood tubes for that. So thank you. Give me a call if you guys have any other questions.